It's February 6th, and the strange side of history awaits. Today, we have a woman who refused chains at the cost of her own life, cruelty repackaged as amusement for the masses, and a treaty whose promises fractured the moment the ink touched the paper. Let's begin. On February 6th, 1694, the jungle of colonial Brazil felt unnaturally quiet. The stronghold of Palmares, built by escaped enslaved people, hidden for decades beyond the reach of the empire, had finally been broken. Smoke lingered where homes once stood, and among the captured was Dandara dos Palmares. She was not just a resident, she was a commander, a strategist, and a leader who helped govern the settlement and train its defenses. Alongside her husband, she had rejected any peace that required others back into bondage. Freedom to her was not something that could be negotiated in pieces. When the last defense collapsed and capture became unavoidable, she made a final choice. Faced with the certainty of being forced back into slavery, she refused to let her body be reclaimed by the system she fought against her entire life. She committed suicide, and her death echoed louder than any battle. For centuries, her story survived in fragments, part history, part defiance. Today, Dandara stands as a symbol of resistance, of authority, and of the truth that still unsettles history. Some people would rather die free than live owned. On February 6, 1843, lights rose in the Bowery Amphitheater in New York City, and American entertainment crossed a dark and unsettling line. 4 men stepped onto a stage. Their faces were stained black with burnt cork, and their smiles were exaggerated. They called themselves their Virginia Minstrels, and what followed was not just a performance, but birth of something far more disturbing. For the first time, Blackface was no longer a brief act or a passing gag. It was a full evening of song, dances, jokes, arranged carefully in a semicircle, inviting the audience to laugh at grotesque characters of black life in the American South. Every note, every punchline reinforced the same lie, that cruelty could be mistaken for comedy. Unfortunately, the crowd loved it. The show spread rapidly, crossing cities, oceans, and decades. What began became a cultural machine, one that normalized dehumanization and disgust as a tradition. Even as the minstrel shows faded, their echoes lingered, quietly shaping a stereotype long after the curtain fell. On February 6, 1840, ink touched paper on the shores of New Zealand, and history quietly split into two. The Maori chiefs gathered to hear the words of the British Crown. They were told this treaty would bring order, protection, and cooperation. But what was spoken out loud was not what was later enforced. 2 versions of the same document existed, written in different languages, carrying dangerously different meanings. In the Maori text, chiefs believed they were granting the Crown the rights to govern the settlers, while keeping their own authority firmly intact. The English version, however, said the Crown claimed something far greater, complete sovereignty. The chiefs signed it, believed they were securing peace, and the Crown walked away believing it now owned a nation. Almost immediately, consequences surfaced. Land was seized, authority was challenged, and the chiefs protested, insisting they had never agreed to a surrender of their power. Generations later, investigations confirmed what many had long suspected. The Maori sovereignty had never been given up willingly. The treaty still stands today, New Zealand's founding documents, both revered and disputed, all from a misleading single transaction. Another day, another strange bite from history. Like, comment, and subscribe. Your next eerie dose is just a day away.